Dating apps in 2022 can be summed up with one word: worthless. Any man who is still on dating apps looking for love or a long-term partner, my question to you would be, what are you doing? Like seriously, what are you doing with your life? Don't you have anything better to do than waste your time with leftover 304s, rooster rotation riders and skeezers? Especially when we look at the older women demographic, usually over 30, I feel sorry for some of you guys. These XXs have got to be the worst people to date on the planet, especially if you live in the United States. Most of these women have ridiculous dating standards because they believe they have worth and something to offer a man. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies, but that ship sailed long ago as soon as you turn 30 years old. Most men are not pining for XX over 30 because we know you're probably well past your prime and you can barely have strong and healthy kids the older you get. Also, because you're getting older, you cost us more to maintain your lifestyle while you're declining by the hour, so I don't know who gassed these women up into thinking they are all that. Well, I actually know who's the culprit. It's the beta male simps that congregate online to win internet peace sleeve points with hopes that these women will finally give them a piece of real peace sleeve. So they pedestalize these women into thinking they are goddesses and inflate these women's egos to the point where they actually think they're doing men a favor by even talking to us. I mean, the entitlement with some of these women is mind-blowing, to say the least, and they wonder why nobody wants to settle down and marry them. But you see, men, under all of that, if you can't take me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best, and you have to make 6 figures and be 6'6" tall, and not to mention, I had my fun and now it's time to settle down. The reality is most of these women are lonely. Yes, gents, if you thought that single women over 30 were winning in life, then you were sadly mistaken. The vast majority of them have to go home to their cold and lonely apartment with their 3 kids from 5 different baby daddies and eat dino chicken nuggets and tombstone pizza for dinner. Some of them are one tire puncture from being bankrupt. Others can barely pay their rent and utility bills, so they have to resort to throwing that wet vice grip on Mr. Earl to get the money to get them through the month. And some of these older women are living with their parents and eating up their food because they don't have a man in their lives. See, you look at these women putting their best selves out there on these dating apps to trap and ensnare hope strategists, and you believe they're winning in life. You don't see them crying at how pathetic and stagnant their lives are. You don't see them curling up in a ball and crying because they are depressed and don't know how they will make it through the last 2 weeks of the month. What you see is an arrogant and self-centered narcissist that thinks her crap doesn't stink, and you think she's better than you when in reality, she's desperate to get any man of means to settle down with her and take the burdens and debt off her shoulders. But guess what? No man is dumb enough to take that deal and risk it all on some reformed 304. These women fail to realize that the men they want now but ignored the previous 2 decades remember when they were younger and she used to reject them and put them on the back burner. These men remember when these women didn't need a man and how they were strong and independent. They saw these older women on the rooster rotation getting passed around by Chad and Tyrone and living it up and living their best life. And these men saw these old gremlin feet 304s getting flown out to Dubai to get shaked on. These guys were there watching you enjoying life, but now that the fun is over and it's time to be an adult, you want to settle down and trap these men. Oh hell no, men are not going for that BS anymore, and older women are starting to notice. Passport bros are now getting their passports and checking out abroad to see what other possibilities of women are out there. Men are saying to hell with modern XXs and going their own way. Men are living the free agent lifestyle and deciding to live life for themselves without committing. And some of our brothers are going monk mode to build their lives up. Men are waking up to the deception and lies they've been fed about women and are deciding to try a different strategy. And as a result, there are fewer and fewer men for these older women by the day. That's why nowadays you see them complaining about where have all the good men gone. Well, love, all the good men got married in their 20s and 30s when you weren't ready to settle down. Some got divorced and realized women aren't worth it, and the rest of the good men got introduced to the RP after you left up their lives and were converted into cold brothers. That's where the good men are, ladies. You created the same monsters you hate and despise because you can't get what you want anymore, and you can clearly see that you're going to die alone. This is the lonely reality of older women on dating apps that can't get a man to commit to save their lives. No man is willing to wife these women up and take on their baggage and deadweight after she gave her best years to the top keys and sugar daddies in her prime. These women think men are clueless and stupid about what's going on to where it's comical at this particular point. They believe they're just going to hop on a dating app and men will fall on their laps and commit. No love, those days are over. All that's waiting for most of these women are box wine, eating dinner with their cats and dogs, and crying themselves to sleep in a lonely bed. And any man who rescues an older XX from dying alone is a monkey simp, in my opinion. There's no good XX over 30, only desperation, misery, debt, mental illnesses, kids from another man, addiction, and the list goes on and on. So my question to you, Mr. Hope Strategist, is why would you take that deal? But tell you what, why just take my word for it? Wouldn't it be better to hear other people's perspectives on dating over 30? Yes, it would. So I'm going to share with you what people have to say about dating over 30. This comes from a Reddit post, and the title is, Dating Over 30 is Hard. Let's hear what this woman has to say. The pool of sincere men got smaller. The men who wanted a family would have gotten married by 25 to 35. Overwhelmingly, the men on dating apps mostly want segs to no matter what they profess as their religion or conservative value under beliefs. Finding an emotional, mental, and intellectual connection is harder since it gets harder to weed out the bedroom fun guys from the sincere guys. Listening to songs to self-soothe a bruised heart from past breakups and meeting up with girlfriends for exercise to girlfriends who care. Dating apps just became a round of careful vetting to ensure I spend my time wisely, only on people who are interested in me as a person and people who are sincere about a relationship. If this is hard for a lady in her early 30s, I can only imagine how much harder it gets later for ladies in their 40s or 50s. What did I tell you guys? There are fewer and fewer men, and it gets harder each and every year. And I told you that the good men already got married at a younger age, so these women aren't getting anything but hard, stiff pipe in their wet vice grip. That's all they're getting because very few men want to wife them up the older they get. Past their mid-30s, it's curtains for most of these women. They just get discarded by the streets like bubble gum that gets spit out when it's dry and loses its flavor. And don't feel sorry for them because they caused this on themselves. One more, gents. This one is a bit different because it's not online per se, but a matchmaker showing us the hell of dating for women over 30. This section of the article comes from chatelane.com, and the title is, Why Dating in Your 30s and 40s Can Be Pure Hell. Let's dive into it. The vast majority of my female applicants were in their 30s and 40s with amazing lives. A lot of them were homeowners and were absolutely killing it in their professional and creative endeavors. They were doctors, lawyers, ad executives, entrepreneurs, writers, politicians, and powerhouses. But no amount of hard work could help them find love. These women were done with endless hours of swiping on Tinder, done with the flakes on Occupid, the crickets on Harmony, done with the disappointing setups by well-meaning family and friends. They were ready to find love, settle down, and maybe start a family. There was, unfortunately, one roadblock to running the ideal matchmaking business. There weren't enough men in their 30s and 40s signing up. Those who did were mostly looking to date women in their 20s. If you've ever been unwillingly single for more than a few months, I don't have to tell you the romantic playing field is uneven. In general, people of all ages, shapes, sizes, and appearances value the young, slim, tall, and objectively beautiful. Straight men are particularly guilty of ageism in dating. I had men in their 50s and 60s tell me their dating age cutoff for women is 33. I think you guys need to give me my flowers. Damn near everything I've said can be seen in these two articles to show you that no matter how much money or lack thereof, over age 30 is curtains for most of these women. Sure, some simp will marry one of these women every now and then, but most of them will have to live out the last 40 years of their lives single and lonely. Just expect to see these women struggling to make ends meet or pay for their retirement when reality starts to soak in, and they realize that riding the CC and not finding and staying with their husbands was a huge mistake. But all I have to say is, ladies, you make your bed, and now you'll have to lie in it. It is what it is. To support this message, you can like and share the video with a man that needs to hear this. And if you want to donate, the links to our Cash App and PayPal are in the description box below. And if you guys want to learn why women only want masculinity and leadership on their terms, then click the video on the screen right now.